Ladies and gentlemen, those are the victory horns. Following UFC 319, the victory horns sound for the brand new middleweight champion of the world. His name is Khamzat Chimaev. Lopsided, dominant performance, one-way traffic.
Super competitive.
50-44s across the board.
Razor thin margin of victory.
And Khamzat Chimaev is the new middleweight champion.
By the skin of his teeth.
We had some big moments, some big knockouts. It was a pretty wild event that ended in a pretty weird way. But we'll talk all about it here following the watch party and everything that has transpired.
People are saying robbery. They're saying it. It's out there.
Yes, robbery's been a very popular word today because people are really silly.
It was very close.
Yes. But I am Mike Heck once again. That is Jed Meshew. You can see it on the screen. And Jed?
That's Nelson Mandela, hero, legend, and sad man tonight.
Yes. Jed, we've had 30 or so minutes, maybe like 35 minutes to sort of digest what we just saw. We reacted in real time during the watch party for a few moments, but now we are here. We took some time to compress. We watched a little bit of the UFC post-fight show. We heard from Khamzat Chimaev. We saw some of the analysts break down what happened and everything. Your reaction to what we witnessed in the main event between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, and Khamzat just delivering the beatdown that he delivered.
Pride rules, DDP won the fight. And still, the only rules that matter. Stockton rules, DDP wins the fight. He was winning in the last moments of the fight, and thus he wins the fight. Yeah, that was a shit kicking. I got to tell you, Mike, a lot of things have happened in the past 30 minutes. The internet, I know the internet is the internet. All things will happen. I posted again, world's #1 DDP guy here. And I posted what I felt was a pretty fair assessment of that fight was not remotely competitive. Khamzat just kicked the shit out of Dricus. Khamzat whooped him, I believe, was because it was about the scoring. We'll get into the scorecards. Again, robbery. And I've had multiple people be like, that wasn't a whooping. There was no damage. Like, guys.
What?
If that's not a whooping, like, I don't know what is. Like, he had nothing for 24 minutes. Dricus du Plessis, my boy, my medium-sized adult son, who I still love dearly, and I'm so proud of him, frankly, he got whooped, man. And people are out there just like, they just hate the concept of wrestling whatsoever, I guess. But yeah, shit kicking, incredibly impressive. We were talking about it. I was like, the thing that would be the most impressive and the most unexpected is Khamzat wins by domination, because it was obvious Khamzat could go out there, choke him out immediately. I never would have been surprised. I was surprised he won pillar to post 24 and a half minutes of that fight functionally. That was not something I saw coming in that manner. And, arguably more impressive than if he just taken the back and choked him out. So we'll talk all about it because it was quite a thing, but damn is all I got, really.
So, it was just wild, sort of the predictions of the fight and like how it would go. And I think like my final prediction was DDP by decision, and just the amount of like DMs I saw on Instagram, like in the brief moment that I jumped on there after this card, was astounding that I would actually even suggest that this fight would go to the cards. They thought I was like the dumbest person on earth. There's no chance this fight goes to the judges. But that happened. But we also talked about like what the shocking result was. I was like, Khamzat Chimaev doing to DDP what Marab did to Piarian would be shocking. And that's exactly what we got. I scored at 50-43. I scored round 1 at 10-8. I know there are others who didn't. None of the judges did. But
per the scoring rules, I would have scored it. What's 8 times 4 is 32 plus a 9. So it would have been 50-41 per the rules. Per the Jed scoring system, it would have been 41 minus 4.
37.
So it would have been 50-37 per my scoring system.
For DDP.
No, for
in your scoring
Khamzat.
system?
For
Okay, all
Khamzat
right,
and
all
my
right.
I like my scoring system is pretty clear. If you offered literally zero offense, I'm going to throw a 10-7 on your ass. And so there should have been 4 of those. That's not how the actual scoring system works. And
Right.
so, but the actual scoring system, I firmly believe you that should be 4 10-8s in there. Only got one of them, which is silly, but so it goes.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. DDP was smiling and having a good time between rounds. Between rounds 4 and 5, DDP was no longer smiling. He was he was very frustrated. He was shaking
He
his
still
head.
wasn't that, but that because I said that on the show. Like as they were walking out, I was like, "Look, here's the thing about Dricus. He's delusional. He doesn't have a concept, and he could." And I said before the fight happened. Remember that I said this. But I was like, he could lose 20 minutes, 24 minutes of this fight, and still just totally think, "Oh, I guess I'm going to win in the last one then." And goddamn, if that almost didn't happen, like it didn't actually. Like we don't have to pretend that that was super close, but like
It was
that act, like the thing I said as kind of like a throwaway bit ended up being the most prescient thing I said all fucking weekend. Where it was like, oh yeah, actually with a minute left, he still was trying. Like he still was like, I can win this, and tried. And it led to one of our better watch party moments and a very fun end, at least to what wasn't the most. I was incredibly impressed. It wasn't the most fun fight to watch, certainly.
yeah. I understood that, and I think sometimes when a fight gets built so much and then it's like not competitive, it's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
It just kind of is like that. And again, we're basically just watching a screen. We can't hear the crowd. I don't know what happened. It seemed like maybe they were booing. That's
Apparently,
just
based on a lot of the stuff I was hearing, there were some boos.
yeah.
Apparently, which
But
is what I honestly would have expected given the texture of the fight.
are you surprised? Like, I think Khamzat wanted to make a statement like, I can go 25 minutes and like, F you, talk about my cardio issues. Would have been, should he have tried a little harder to finish the fight? Like,
Yes.
okay. What was sort of your assessment? Like, dude, 50-43ing people in a lot of people's minds is like pretty sick. That's like a really good
It was really
performance,
good.
but you think stamping it home with the finish would have just
Yeah,
put this
I
way
just
over
think
the top?
the fifth round it should have just been guns out. Because that's sort of, and that's not just germane to him. That's kind of how I feel about everybody. That was like one of the things that I always really appreciated about Demetrius Johnson is he could cruise to victory and he would just be like, all right, fight's almost over. Let's try. Let's like really full gas. And I'm not sure he could have done it. I would frankly like DDP. And there are a lot of criticisms that can be leveled at DDP. I think most of the ones that have been leveled at him for that performance are all the way wrong. Um, because like that was less about his defensive wrestling, which wasn't like amazing, but that was more of a Khamzat is really good issue. But like his grappling was incredibly defensively focused the whole way through. And so like the first round, okay, you're just surviving. Second round, okay, you're surviving, but like third round, you got to start taking risks, and he never did. He never created. And had he, maybe he gets finished because maybe now Khamzat has more openings, but he was not willing to take risks, and Khamzat really wasn't really willing to do so and didn't need to. People always made this argument about Israel Adesanya and his title reign. Like, if you're winning, winning's the most important thing. You don't need to take risks. I was always consistent for every champion, every fighter in this position. Like, you're not just a fighter. This isn't a meritocracy. This isn't the NFL where dubs are the only thing. Like, you are an entertainer. You are, you need to accept some risk at some times when it's like that's minimized risk. If in the last 2 minutes he had just gone balls to the wall to try and get something, it's very low percentage that he would have lost. And maybe he gets it, puts a stamp on it, and everyone's like, okay, hell of it. Like it would have been better for him to finish that fight than not. And so I would have liked to see it, but frankly, just so wildly impressed with his performance. The best performance we've ever seen of his career. I know people hating it for a lot of reasons. I think Dricus is the best fighter he's ever faced, and he beat the shit out of him. It wasn't remotely competitive, and also showed like a lot of discipline to not get out over his skis and let Dricus in a lot of ways. So ultimately, these are nitpicks for what was an exceptional performance.
You're the matchmaker now. Khamzat Chimaev is the new champion. Dricus is out of the way. There's no way they're running this back right now. Like, there's just no chance. We have RDR. We have Fluffy Hernandez. We have Nasruddin Imavov and Caio Borralho getting ready to fight in 2 weeks' time, I believe. Like that's coming real fast. Heart of hearts, pen in hand. Who's the guy? Khamzat versus fill in the blank.
So if I'm in charge, it is the winner of Borralho Imavov. That guy, whoever wins that fight, is just the most deserving by a long shot. I actually do think it's going to be RDR, just because post-fight presser, Khamzat said he wants to fight at Abu Dhabi, which is October something, and
Said I've been told move closer to the
okay,
mic. Get it more like there you
go. But apparently Khamzat said he wants to fight in Abu Dhabi, and at the post-fight presser, Dana said he was open to that, and that sort of turnaround, I just really doubt Borralho or Imavov is going to be ready for it. RDR is obviously super ready at all points in time. So I think what's going to happen is that'll happen at Abu Dhabi. And, RDR is my boy. He going to lose. He going to lose. A lot of people I love it. I'm so heartened by the love RDR has picked up amongst the fan base in such a short time, and the people being like, he might be an interest. Like, he is going to lose. I will bet him. I will support him. I will cheer for him. He is going to lose. But it'll be great. Like, look, if Khamzat can fight a bunch and be an active champion, that'll be amazing for the sport, for the division, for him, for all of us. We'll see. But if I'm betting money, that's the fight that happens. Even if I think what should happen is they wait and he gets a fresh Imavov Borralho. That is the deserving opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be very surprised if Khamzat fights in October. I know he likes to say things. It'd be sick if he did. If we get Khamzat first title defense, Tom Aspinall first title defense on the same card, like that'd be pretty damn sick.
I mean, it's not like he took a lot of damage tonight, so
yeah.
He could do it.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably, from all accounts, that was a long, strenuous, brutal training camp preparing for this guy. It's going to be interesting.
Fortunately, if he fights RDR, it's basically like he already prepared for him, as he just fought Dricus du Plessis. It's the same thing. He's like, I'm good.
It's essentially the same fight, but
he's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit bigger.
And not as skilled as DDP is overall, if we're being honest. But
more skilled in some ways, less skilled in others. Equally as not athletic, and
very.
I love him to death. I'll support him. I hope he gets it. I hope I'm wrong. He has no chance to win that fight.
I would love to see the Fluffy Hernandez fight. I think legitimately, right this second, the only dude who has a chance of beating Khamzat stylistically is probably Fluffy, and he's my guy. I feel like that's
that feels like a your guy thing. I don't think anyone's beating him at middleweight for the foreseeable future.
I would not pick him to win this fight. I would pick Khamzat to win somewhat easily. But Fluffy's just an absolute lunatic out there. He's got the cardio, he's got the hossiness to him, and he's got a style that he's gonna push Khamzat, man. He does not win that fight, but I think, like, from a stylistic perspective and like the pace he brings and the style he brings, he might be the guy that could do it, but I just don't see it happening. Like this,
he has a way to attack him at least.
Yeah,
where like we can maybe squint our eyes and be like, maybe he'll make him tired.
The whole build from DDP's side was like, we're not going to defend takedowns in the first round. Yeah, we're going to offensively battle him. Like Fluffy would 100% try to offensively grapple him.
Again, there are a lot of critiques you can levy against DDP, and I think he deserves many of them. That is one of them. Where like he said a lot of things that I was very like, I think that's a really smart way to approach it. And then he immediately threw a bunch of kicks, walked backwards, and got taken down. It's like, I thought you were going to be the hunter because you were not the hunter at any point. And that was a problem.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people poo-pooing the performance, but you know who didn't poo-poo the performance? The UFC, because they gave him a bonus. They gave him a performance bonus for this.
Yeah, I am a little surprised by it. Fans are fans. No one is telling you need to love that performance. I'm not here. Like what you like. Obviously incredibly an impressive performance. And my sort of broad stance here is like people in the chat, people got feelings. It was a whole night of fights. This was built up to such an extent. We were all so excited. You were out here with, I thought, a great take that proved to be super wrong, that this would be the fight of the year, one of the greatest fights that's ever happened. God, it would have been better if that was the case.
Oh,
Wasn't
God,
the,
I wish we had Hunter
yeah,
DDP.
yeah,
Golly.
wasn't the case.
No.
And so then to have that expectation and get that fight, I understand disappointment, and maybe frankly, a lot of the people commenting have had a few, so not in their best minds. Seen a lot of like Khamzat super boring. I'll never watch a Khamzat fight again.
Yeah, you will.
I mean, you will, and
You absolutely
that's a
will
lie.
watch.
And also, like this is the outlier. I'm not telling you to love this performance, but it's not like there is a history of him being boring. This is probably the least interesting fight of his career. And so that's one, you should have a little bit more build up to be like, actually, that guy is not fun before you just kind of throw him out.
Yeah. I just don't know what else this guy had to listen for literally a year since October, since the Robert Whittaker fight. You cannot compete with DDP. If this fight goes past a round and a half, he is going to kill you. Like, you don't have the gas tank for it. You don't have the cardio for it. You just don't have it. So you have 7 minutes to beat this guy. And he heard this the entire time. What better way to make a statement than just to obliterate this guy for 25 minutes? And I mean, just he rendered DDP defenseless. Like, he couldn't do anything. Like, no one's ever done that to DDP. Like, it was just absolutely insane. Like, it was so incredibly impressive the way he did that and just shut that man down. And he had nothing outside of one incredibly fun moment for 15 seconds in the fifth round. DDP had nothing for this man. So spectacular performance. Maybe not the most thrilling.
If that was a 7-round fight,
it would have been over.
DDP finishes him in 7.
Yeah, I think another 10-8 was coming probably if that was a 7-round fight. I don't think Khamzat was slowing down for a second.
No, he wasn't, because he didn't have to. And that's the thing. I'm skeptical that he was trying to send a message so much as like, I think that Khamzat just approached that fight like a guy in a title fight. And, for all the bluster and stuff that you say about I'm going to kill you or whatever, like the most important thing was winning. And he found out almost immediately, okay, I can win this without ever being at risk ever at all. And so if something opened, like I thought it was a very, a professional, a disciplined performance. And I think that was it. He's like, I'm going to win this goddamn belt because that's the most important thing. And he did it.
Yep. Now he can make money in title defenses. That's what it's all about.
I mean, he could. Maybe that's why he wants to fight in Abu Dhabi, because pay-per-views are going away. So,
well, I mean, yeah, the guarantees are going up for champions anyways.
Maybe, I don't know. They might. They don't have, but they don't have to. They can do whatever they want to. Well, what are they going to do? Fighters going to say no?
No, champions are getting higher guarantees. It's happened. Like, I've talked to a lot of people in the know about this. So obviously the pay-per-view points go away, but the guarantees go up in different ways. So good. Khamzat got the damn thing done, and he gets an extra 50 G's on top of it for getting a performance bonus. Other bonuses were the big finishes earlier on. Tim Elliott gets a submission win over Kaya Sakura. He gets a bonus. That was a sick performance. Carlos Prates delivers the spinning back elbow, knocks out Jeff Neal at the buzzer at the end of round 1, and everyone's like, wow, that's a spinning back elbow KO, colds him. It's a super rare thing, especially on pay-per-view main cards.
Kind of a little weird. Like, it just, the angle that happened was like, what happened? And then, he died. Okay.
He killed him with the elbow, and then a fist landed right after the elbow. Mm-hmm. And then the next fight happened. We figured if someone was going to get colded, it was not going to be Aaron Pico. But it was. Jesus Christ.
One of the knockouts of the year, bud.
It will be in the top 5 at worst.
Probably. I mean, we still have plenty of year to go, but it's up there for sure.
This will be the thing people remember most about this pay-per-view. There's like one singular moment. This is the one. Lerone Murphy colds Aaron Pico. Aaron's head hits the canvas at warp speed. Lerone sneaks in one more big shot. Pico was down for a long time after that. And now, Jed Meshew, Lerone Murphy, everyone, the guy that everyone's like, I don't even want to see this guy fight at the Apex anymore after the Josh Emmett win. Not that fun, not that thrilling, yada, yada, yada. he's about to fight Alexander Volkanovski for the featherweight title after this knockout. This is incredible stuff. Dude
Mm-hmm.
you can't beat him. And now he's highlight reeling people. That knockout is going to be, that's a test of time knockout. Bubba O'Reilly before the main card,
I'm gonna be
the
on.
video highlight
I'm gonna
package,
be out
that
there.
knockout is going to be on there forever. What else can you say about Lerone Murphy, Jed?
Hey, great performance. I will say in the preview show, I kind of stood on this corner because I'd been hearing some things that this was a de facto title eliminator. I mean, for a while, it's like pretty clear if Aaron Pico won spectacularly, they like Pico, they were going to give him a crack at it. But I've kind of been hearing that it's like if Murphy won even reasonably, like it wasn't a total snooze fest, he had a real shot at getting the Volk fight, tentatively for December. So I was like, I kind of think that whoever wins, as long as it's not bad, is going to get it. And then to do it in that fashion, you had Volk basically immediately tweet his interest in it. And at the post fight presser, Dana basically okayed it. It's like, I'm into that. That sounds like a good thing to me. So, um, I mean, that's how you change your stars in one fell swoop, basically. And so good on Lerone Murphy because like he stepped in on short notice. This wasn't a fight that was necessarily planned. Obviously, Pico was supposed to fight Mozar. And so he took an opportunity, made the most of it in the biggest way he possibly could. And it seems, for all intents and purposes, like he's going to fight for the belt. England's going to get a chance at another champ.
So obviously, I think another big part of this and this card, and one of the big talking points next week on BTL and all the other programs you'll watch and talk and listen to. Uh, where does Aaron Pico go from here? Because the way people viewed Aaron Pico, and this was true more so than Patchy Mix or Patricio Pitbull, and I think some of it is because of age, and some of the people just see like the baseline potential in this guy of just like, wow, when he's on, this dude can beat anybody. And people were like, well, if he goes out and loses to Lerone Murphy, like it's not the end of the world. He can come back. Like he'll still be champion. He can still fight for the belt someday. I know you were one of the guys that said, look, Aaron Pico is incredibly talented. I'm believing in this man. Not only am I believing in him to beat Lerone Murphy, I'm believing in him to win the belt someday. After what you just watched tonight, do you still feel that way?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's real tough. I definitely like. I've always thought Lerone was really good, but I didn't know, like how good. This was such a good performance, and I'm certainly higher on Lone than I was before. For Pico, it's just like there's obviously a world of talent in there. His career has been so up and down. Don't want to write him off. One performance, UFC debut, maybe some octagon jitters because he was a bit frantic at points, and the knockout was to some extent a direct result of him getting a little too aggressive at a point in time and Murphy taking advantage. But he's not like 22 anymore. Like he is an older man. Like he's like hitting the prime of his career. I still always bet on talent, and so I don't know that he'll hold the belt. I still believe he'll fight for a belt, I guess, and maybe he'll get a belt. But this is really tough, and I don't know where you go with him. Like honestly, I kind of wish they would do the Pitbull fight. I know Pitbull now has been booked against Keita, um, but like that would just kind of be a fun thing to do. But otherwise, uh, give him some dude, and let's figure it out. Like he's gonna need a good break, certainly after that, and like a Dan Ige, something like that, to find out where he is.
Boy, oh boy, that's a super.
It's
That's a
a really
dangerous
tough
fight
fight, but
too.
you got to find out where. Like, is he a guy that we need to invest in? Like, I don't know. He's too old to be like, all right, let's build him back up. Like, give him somebody, maybe not Dan, somebody in that.
Do you do like an Andre Feely?
Maybe an Andre Feely can get a main event as AK wanted for him so badly. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's very funny. Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. Again, I'm always a bit hesitant with these guys coming over. I was very hesitant with Patchy Mix. Um, Patchy, at least Aaron like had a full camp, and I think when Aaron like reacts to this, it's not going to be like Patchy where he's like, "I dared to be great." I think Aaron's gonna be like, "Shit, man,
No, Aaron's always really good at
Yeah,
that
he's gonna be
too.
like, shit, man, he killed me.
Which, to that point, this is total digression. Super proud of Dricus, my boy, my beautiful big dumb idiot boy. Zero excuses. I don't know if he did the post presser and did anything, but like all he did was put Khamzat over. He's like, yeah, man, I lost. Totally deserves it. I'm gonna come back. This ain't the end of me. That dude deserves. I'm not the champion. That dude's the champion. He deserves to be the champ. That's how you fucking lose. Like I don't care. I don't care if you died, if your heart stopped, like an hour before the fight. You don't say shit. You just say, "Well done. Hats off to the man. He got me." I'm super proud of him for that. Well done, my boy.
Yeah, no daring to be great.
He didn't dare to be great. He didn't like look. And then after he did it, Khamzat put him over and was like, "Hey, this is the only champion who's willing to fight me. None of these other jamokes were out here trying to scrap with me." And he was like, "I want to fight that dude."
Dude,
so
he could have moved
him.
up. If he said, "I want to fight Alex Pereira after the Strickland ass whooping," like go up to 205, they would have done it.
Yeah,
like they would have absolutely, they would have done it.
And
he just said, "No, I want to fight Khamzat.
Yeah, no, I want to fight that dude. I want to fight that guy." And he got what he wanted, and it was a tough night at the office for him. But
yeah,
shout out to. I just wanted to make sure that be known. Shout out to my boy, because that's how you lose.
Yeah,
it's real easy. The history of losing is how you do it, and he did it correctly. So my boy, so proud of you.
The last thing I'll say about Aaron Pico is, yes, he's not 22. He's 28. He's been brutally KO'd a lot.
He's had some tough runs.
That's the third time he's been brutally knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Corrales colded him, Boric colded him, and then this was next level colding.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. It was a really tough.
You can't knockout. You can't keep getting just obliterated like that. It does. It's gonna catch up to you.
That, and it also just like, not that his chin is weak, but his chin obviously ain't like bulletproof, So that's tough if you're just not durable, and he's maybe not the most durable. I mean, that elbow is gonna knock out most people, but it just happens a lot. You start to think maybe that's a weakness to him at all, and especially with how aggressive he is. When you are aggressive, it puts you in the line of fire, and he fucking ate one tonight.
Should Pico go to 55?
I don't think that's going to help his situation.
Maybe less of a weight cut. He could build up a little bit more.
I don't know.
Fight the Michael Chandlers of the world.
No, I mean, he could fight some old dudes, which would help him. But like, I think the issues with Pico are more tactical and sort of the fighter he is. And also, like, again, I said this in the watch party. Give the props to Lerone Murphy. I am not a Lerone Murphy like supporter, frankly.
For sure.
I'm pretty anti Lerone Murphy in general, but like nobody has ever argued, and I certainly didn't, that he was not like, he's clearly one of the 7 or 6 best featherweights alive and had a good performance. And so like if this becomes a recurring incident with, if Pico goes out there and gets smoked up by Ige or whoever it ends up being, Josh Emmett, then I'd have a little more concern. Still have some concern, but I'd like a little more proof than, hey, he lost to the guy who may be the next champion. Like that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, a lot of it comes down to the level of competition. Like,
this is the best person he fought by about 6 country miles.
100%. Like you go back and like the Leandro Higo win, like his age
is probably his best win.
It's aged very well.
5th fight.
Yeah, it's aged great, but like timing and like who he fought and when he fought them, like Justin Gonzalez was probably like his best win. Like Higo ages better, but at the time, like Gonzalez was this like LFA dude who was undefeated and like super good, and Bellator brought him over and gave him a chance, and Pico just kind of like outclassed him. Did what like he did to Gonzalez what Khamzat Chimaev did to DDP today, just completely neutralize him and shut him down. So we'll see what happens with Aaron Pico. Casey's not going to talk because we don't have earpieces. We're going to try to fix that and be able to bring Casey in. But Casey, let's go to the peeps. I see a lot of super chats up there. Let's fire through these as quickly as possible because it's 2:06 a.m. And shout out to this card that wrapped I didn't think the main event would be would go like I didn't think it would go like that, like outcome wise, but
Yeah.
still we got wrapped and packed earlier than usual. So Slido, Chimaev versus Fluffy, infinitely more interesting now. Agreed. I still think Chimaev wins, but
I'm the exact opposite. I think that fight is deeply less interesting to me. Prior to this, like, and we talked about it after the Fluffy. I was like, I think Fluffy could beat anybody at middleweight. I'm not sure I'd pick him against anybody, but I think he's live because he has a superpower. Superpowers matter. Uh, I wouldn't say he's 0%, but I am. I don't. God, nobody's beating that dude. I just like, and we talked about it on the show when we were before the fight happened, and I was like, man, I gotta tell you, I like if he goes out there and rolls over DDP and kills him in the first round, that'll be hella impressive. But I'll still have questions. I'll still be like, I don't know, what's he look like in the fourth, fifth round, you know? But if he goes out there and just beats the shit out of DDP for 25 minutes, which can't happen, it would. He's obviously going to finish him. If he's killing him for that, like he's going to finish. It would never happen. But if in some crazy world it happened, I would leave that being like, nobody's ever going to beat that guy. Nobody at this weight class is ever going to beat that guy. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly how I feel. I'm like, it's not 0% that Fluffy just makes him tired, but like it's pretty close in my mind. Like that, nobody currently in the middleweight division is beating him. The old like if he goes up to 205, okay, a lot of those dudes are just huge. And like maybe if Alex decides to drop back to 185 just for shits and gigs.
Oh God.
I mean, that fight is enormous. I'd be massively interested in that fight, but like outside of those two worlds, that dude's winning every time he steps in the cage, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm picking Chimaev to win pretty decisively.
I'm picking him to beat anybody he fights that's not named Magomed Ankalaev, Alex Pereira. But
I would pick Chimaev to beat Pereira.
At 185, I'd probably pick Chimaev. At 205, probably pick Pereira. Yuri, that's probably about it. Oh, that's probably about it.
Yeah. I honestly at 85, I think Fluffy's like the only guy who could win. It's maybe not a big chance.
Yeah.
But he at least has a style that
I was more interested. I was more interested in that fight a week ago than I am tonight.
Do you remember what we said after Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya? How fascinated we were about a potential Sean Strickland Khamzat Chimaev fight.
Dude, Sean
at
Strickland
the time,
got out there tweeting tonight too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's pretty normal too. He's like, looks like I'm the only guy who's going to be able to out grapple this dude for, I didn't call him dude. He called him a name I won't repeat, for 25 minutes. I got to get a couple of wins to get in there against him. So he at least was like recognized.
All right, he at least recognized
that. So it wasn't bad, but like it was.
You know what? If we're going to go meritocratically, and
I'd actually say Jan Blachowicz might be a really tough fight for Khamzat. Jan is nobody has ever
after watching the Carl Selberg fight. I don't know if that's true or not.
But nobody's ever looked good. Like Ulberg kicked him a bunch and barely won. Like Jan's pretty good at defensively wrestling, and he's gigantic. So like that might be tough for Khamzat.
So I didn't expect Khamzat to do what he did. So it's weird to think about like a week later. Like maybe you just throw Strickland in there with Fluffy and just let Fluffy like put him out of his misery at this point. Like maybe you just do that. Like I hated that fight last week because I just didn't see like the Chimaev that we saw tonight, like Merab Yan Chimaev. I did not see that coming. But now I'm just like, all right, let's throw Strickland again. But Strickland is about to go in front of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and he's probably going to get suspended.
He's going to be sussied for some months.
He ain't fighting until 2026. Like there's no way he's fighting.
Unlikely.
And that's not good for Sean Strickland. Like if the longer he sits out, more guys are going to emerge in this division. He's in a tough spot, man. Like he really is. So thank you for the question. Let's continue on. Chris, with this win, is MVP a top 5 contender at 185? If yes, is MVP versus Adesanya the fight to make? I'll make this real quick.
Yes, no.
That fight's not happening. MVP was asked about it at media day. Like MVP and Izzy are very, very tight. The only way that fight happens is if somehow MVP gets up to 185, gets up there and fights Khamzat and somehow beats him. And at that point, Izzy runs off like a couple of really good wins. And then it's just like undeniable. It's MVP versus Izzy. And then it's going to take a lot of money for that fight to happen. They're boys. They would fight if they got paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. But outside of that, that fight's not happening. So I would like to see it if it could happen in a different world, but that's just not a world we're living in right now. So,
but yeah, I do think MVP is like certainly pretty top in the mix as a title contender. Well liked guy, has a little bit of a fan base. You know, new to the whole conversation.
MVP versus Strickland would be actually kind of a weird fight too.
Yeah, basically, I think MVP, like depending on what the matchup, he gets one win, he could be.
That's what I'm doing.
And then MVP versus Khamzat would be that would be technically a fist fight, masquerading as a Stone Cold Slaughter. But yeah, so I do think he's in the mix, though. You know, I mean, he's going to be number 9 come Tuesday in the UFC rankings.
I think you give him the loser of Imavov and Bahalio.
Yeah,
like just throw him. Let's see what he got. If he beats one of those guys, like he's in a
real
wrong
damn way to eat the Reese's. You do whatever, it's fine.
Yep. Thank you for the question, Chris. I think I just said crush it. I didn't mean to. Maul was hyped for main event, but Khamzat put me to sleep. Hey,
look, I get it, man. I'm not here to tell you needed to like that. You like what you like, and that was not the most action-packed thing. He was in neutral for a lot of it. You got to respect it, at least as an impressive. It's how I felt about Merab, right? Like, I didn't care for most of Merab's fights. I would never not respect what Merab accomplished. It just wasn't for me. And if that wasn't for you, that's okay. I would just caution you, this is the worst fight of Khamzat's career. Every other fight has been an absolute demolition or a really fun fight. And then like the Usman fight was like less fun than the Burns fight, but still okay.
Yeah. Weird circumstance. He got hurt early, broke his hand early.
Yeah. At short notice, like super weird circumstances. This one, you know, I'm again not here to tell you it was great. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If this becomes the new Chimaev, then okay, rip it on him. He's earned the benefit of the doubt not to be like he's the most boring champion.
He's going to be in the him and Gilbert Burns is going to be a Hall of Fame fight. Like it's going 100. It's going to be a Hall of Fame fight. So he's not that boring. He destroyed a man. He completely neutralized him. Like
he destroyed a champion.
It is what it is.
He destroyed the champion.
That was
a valid champion.
Entertaining. Maybe not the most entertaining. Impressive. 100%.
Astonishingly impressive, frankly.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Spencer, like Jed, big DDP fan, and I was shocked it was so one-sided. Khabib only has 3 title defenses, but was so dominant he's considered top 10 all time. If Khamzat continues to dominate, can he be similar with only 3 to 5 title defenses?
Yes and no. Khabib gets Khabib being top 10 all time, that's not going to age that well, just in general. Like he probably is. Khabib gets a huge bump by being the greatest lightweight ever, because lightweight is the best division. And so being the best of the best division, even if your resume is lacking relatively, and he had 28 wins, which is gaudy and a big impressive number. Khamzat competing in a weight class with arguably the greatest ever in Anderson Silva. You know, Izzy, I think Izzy's a top 20 all-time fighter. And so like he'll need to stack accomplishments. Like it's just part of the life, guys. Like I know MMA fans don't want to hear this, but the game isn't how fast can we do this. It's greatness is a measure of accomplishment over time. And like right now, I said this already. I'm going to keep saying it for years to come or until I'm wrong. No one's beaten that dude. But I've said that about a lot of other people. And then out of nowhere, someone comes and beats that dude. You know, Chris Weidman upsets Anderson Silva and beats that dude. Holy shit. Who thought that would happen? Fabricio Verdum taps Fedor. oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Matt Serra knocked out George St.
Yeah,
Pierre.
like we can feel this. I'm not telling you not to feel that guy's unbeatable because it's fun, but there is a world of difference between what we feel and what we think may happen and what does happen. It's why they fight the fights. And so like he'll have to put some together. He'll have to put a real sustained title run because like it's that is the currency of greatness in the sport. And it's tough at middleweight because there's a big lineage of accomplished people in front of him. So
Sure.
like, yeah, if he racks up like 6 wins, if he racks up three title defenses, right? And so then he's tied with Chris Weidman. And then goes up and gets the light heavyweight belt. Some people will argue it and be like, he never lost, he did this. And there is the case. But like if that's all he does, then in 10 years it'll be like, okay, well, somebody else actually put together 7 title defenses because they hung around. And then it's just like Khabib is great now. And Khabib will be a Rocky Marciano figure of he was undefeated, etc. But it's just not going to age that well because that's how the sport works. And also, who fucking knows? Khamzat might win 30 in a row. Like we don't. The first question we have to ask doesn't have to be like, what is the future? Just be like, hey man, let's be along for this ride. Because also, let us not forget. Knock on wood. God hope this doesn't happen. This is a dude who like retired because he was sick a bunch. Like at any point in time, the Khamzat train could stop because of outside things, and so like. We don't need to play the like, where can he end up game? We can just see. Let's just see because right now he looks unbeatable. And God willing, we'll get to fight a bunch and that'll be cool and we'll get to find out.
Next question. Chase, to think that Mozar pulled out of the Pico fight for Lerone to take the fight on short notice and end up getting the title shot is hilarious. He won't fight for the belt until 2027 at this point. Don't think that's true. I think he'll fight for the belt in 2026 because there's just gonna be nobody else.
I mean, it depends, man.
There's just nobody else.
Should, but well, yeah, but if John Silva just dummies Diego Lopez,
that's a good point.
He's right in there. Like it's.
I kind of feel like if John does do that, he's gonna have to fight Mozar. Like
maybe
they'll make that fight.
I don't know, man. Maybe it is tough. I feel for Mozar. I think he got stuck with a bit of an undeserved bad rap. He should have been the guy to fight Volk.
Just because Dana White didn't know who he was.
Yep. And so tough, but there you go.
Dana White confused him with Chris Curtis and Marc-Andre Barrios on that fateful night in Canada. At least that's my take, and I stand by it. Yeah, tough one for Mozar. He needed a Lerone Murphy by decision real bad. Probably would have guaranteed him a title fight, but yeah. When Volk immediately tweets about you and you have a forever knockout,
yeah,
you're getting a title fight.
And yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. You take advantage of the windows.
Next question. Love this card and wild to see PFL Tour go down again. 9-0-1 Lerone, clearly a beast. Early analysis of him versus Volk. Better matchup for Volk than Pico, in my opinion. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if you mean better as in like easier for Volk than Pico. I think Pico could have presented problems to Volk, but also we've seen Pico have a lot of flaws. I'll be picking Lerone Murphy against him because Volk's old and Lerone Murphy's really good, and that's it. Like it's just. I thought Volk looked really old against Diego Lopez. And it was incredibly impressive to be old and win fights. Like that is the hallmark of true greatness in my mind. Like all-time legitimate forever greatness. But he like looked super old against the guy who's incredibly limited. Diego Lopez did like 3 things in that fight and Volk was prepared for them, but he still got jawed a whole bunch because he's just fighting a big, strong dude. And that just happens. Lerone Murphy is wildly more technically proficient than Diego Lopez, at least certain in the striking department. Grappling. Diego's actually a phenomenal grappler, but and I would say can present some really difficult challenges for Alexander Volkanovski. Volk is an all-time great, and so he could still win, but I'll probably pick Murphy.
Thank you, Spencer. Next question. RS40 middleweight has been for the last 10 years dominated by strikers. It is a change of guard now. Jed, welcome to Lerone's bandwagon. How do you see the Volk fight?
I would not say I'm on Lerone's bandwagon. Again, I've never disputed that Lerone Murphy was a phenomenal fighter. I just didn't care for him. Still, one fight is not going to shift my opinion. I will say that was awesome and incredibly cool, and I will take nothing away from it. I would not say I'm on the bandwagon because also like it would be disingenuous to be like he won me over with the one thing. Like, no, I'm on the bandwagon of the guys I'm on the bandwagon of. I rarely come to bandwagons late, unless there's some real specific reason. And even if Lerone like wins the belt and is awesome, he's not the sort of fighter I mostly like. Real weirdos, and his game is not like a weirdo game. So no, but hell of a performance.
Sure.
Can't say anything other than that was dope.
Next. Rastafari. Huge props and positive feedback on the timeline video for this fight. Please do more of that. Jed, I thought the main event does not go the distance, was a lock. RIP.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest about a couple points of this. The first one is I didn't feel amazing about it. But like I've talked about this before, I do like to have the climb be on air. There was nothing I loved this week. The one I was looking at the most and was like felt the best about was the over 1.5 in the MVP Cannonier fight. But it just seemed less fun. And I liked the main event doesn't go the distance thing. And if you had told me beforehand that Khamzat was going to win, I would have felt unreal about it. I'm like, hell yeah, main event doesn't go the distance. Lock that one in, baby. Just didn't see this particular set of outcomes coming. This is also only the fourth step. I mean, it sucks. Functionally $100 down. But we'll start back up, and we're going to start back up next week at Zhang Ming Yang. Already know that 100%. So, the climb is a tough journey. We're going to get right back on that horse.
Thank you. Next.
Luke Luna, I never called it a lock. Never once in my life did I call it a lock. You dumb bastard. Because it's 2 a.m. I'm not going to deal with you lying about things I've said.
Harmon, hindsight is 2020, but looking back at it, would Mozar been a better stylistic matchup for Pico than Murphy was? Very interesting to see how the original matchup would have gone. I've said this publicly on shows. I thought Mozar Evloev was going to kill Aaron Pico. Like I didn't. Think
I would have picked Mozar to win.
I didn't think that. I didn't even think that fight was competitive. Like I've said it. I don't remember which exact shows, but it was interesting because if Pico had derailed the Mozar train, like that's a huge moment. He's absolutely getting a title shot, and this is the right matchup to put Mozar in a position to get a finish and be like, "See, this is the fucking guy that I've been trying to push. I was just playing mind games, trying to build this young man's confidence up." Yada yada yada. I thought Mozar was going to absolutely obliterate Aaron Pico. I just thought it was like weird fight. I love it, but it was also like Aaron's 28, like he's taking a big risk. This is like your dare to be great moment to fight the undefeated guy, the uncrowned champion. That a loss wouldn't have hurt him like that bad. Because he was also doing the UFC a favor. He made Mozar fun. Now they can present him as a title challenge, as a threat for the title. And at the same token, if Pico had won that fight and beat Evloev, like they did him a favor by getting him out of the way, and then he would go fight for the belt. Like it was a good matchup for what could have happened. Having said that, I didn't like Pico's chances at all in that fight. I thought it was a horrific matchup for him because Mozar hits way harder than people give him credit for. And I actually thought like he would have knocked out Aaron Pico in this fight. That's how I saw it, but
could have happened.
We'll never know.
I'll pick Mozar against most people because I think he's very, very good at fist fights.
He is.
And so I haven't really seen a lot of a reason not to pick him, frankly. But he may never get to fight for the belt at this rate.
Yeah, dude.
Very tough scenes for him. So there you go.
Yeah, I think honestly in hindsight, like watching what happened tonight, Mozart's like, fuck, man, like this. Like that could have happened.
Yeah.
It could have been me
Dude,
knocking out this dude out. So
Mozar's just on the Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. Just
which is
it's a tough road. You can get there. And
it's just
shit,
so
before
brutal,
this
man.
fight, I said Lerone Murphy was on that road, and all of a sudden he's not. So it can happen in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
But it is tough.
Yep. Next question. We'll take a couple more, and then we'll get out of here. Classic Pico look insanely impressive, and then get KO'd.
I mean, there's a little bit.
Game,
there's a little bit of that in him. Yeah, he doesn't seem to. He's not like preternaturally durable, right? In like a way of just like he can go balls to the wall constantly, and he is really aggressive in putting himself in the line of fire, and that is a combination that will add up to the outcomes that we get. Where like if you're going to put yourself into harm's way a lot, you need to be able to sustain, like to hold up to that, and he does not appear to be able to do so. So it's pretty tough.
Next, Mike, do you guys think that we'll ever get Khamzat at a line that close at -200? I personally think he'll be -300 minimum, no matter who he fights. You know how to answer this better than me.
At middleweight, unless it's Alex, and even then, he probably is -300. I straight up, you went too low. I don't believe there's a person after that performance, unless Nasruddin Imavov literally decapitates Kyle Bahalio with an uppercut. There's no way that the winner of that fight against Khamzat is like Khamzat's going to be like -450 against just about anybody in the weight class. Like, honest to God, Alex returning is the only fighter I can see getting it remotely close to even money. Everything else, like it's -4 or 500, not -3. Certainly not -2.
Yep. We'll take two more, Casey. Herbaz, it's time for Jessica Andrade to think about retirement. She had her moments in her fight against Loopy, but seemed to lose her fastball a little bit. A little bit?
Didn't see 1 second of the fight. I was traveling, so I can't comment on this one.
It ended up being a lot more fun than I think it probably had the right to be. Like Loopy probably should have.
Loopy's usually fun.
Yeah, Loopy probably should have 30-27 to her. She let Andrade kind of get back into the fight.
Loopy, so all right.
Yeah, and look, like there was sort of an internal argument going on in the Slack channel. It was like, there were some people who were like, Loopy looked incredible, and then there's the other side that was like, well, Andrade just washed. But both things can be true.
Little of column A, little of column B.
Yeah, like Loopy's going to be ranked. I think Andrade is ranked like a top 5 fighter. So she's going to get. Let me see what she is in the UFC. She's 5. Andrade was 5 in our rankings at strawweight.
5 in the UFC rankings.
So like Loopy's not a top 5 fighter. She's just not.
No, she's top 10.
She's a borderline top 10 fighter, and that's
she might now be top 5 because strawweight has had no new bodies and they're starting to age out.
But she's already lost to Dern. Like that was a tough one.
But again, Mackenzie Dern probably future champion, so we're not holding it against
that. Nothing would make you happier in this world.
Damn. There would have been some if Dricus had gotten the crank, that would have made me happier. But yes, Mackenzie Dern is champion.
But look, Loopy
again, a goofball. That's all the fighters I like are just total weirdos.
Loopy versus Yasmin Lucindo is 1 trillion% the fight to make. There's no other fight to be made for Loopy or for Yasmin.
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yasmin's number 7. She just beat Angela Hill.
She's on a great run right now. So yeah, that fight makes total sense.
Yeah, she beat Angela Hill, and Angela Hill has a win over Loopy. So yeah, MMA math. Let's party. Let's go. Thank you for the great content as always, MMA Fighting. Thank you. No. Thank you.
It was a really. It's been a really fun night of fights.
It was
fun. The main event, the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen. The whole time I was like, even if the rest of the card sucks, the main event will be so dope. We'll all leave happy. It wasn't dope, but it was impressive. And so ended on like a slight down, especially for me. South Africa forever, but. The rest of the evening and even the main event was so impressive and had the fun little moment where I could talk myself into the most miracle comeback that's ever happened. If DDP got that choke, outside, not even talking about how much joy would have filled my heart, I may have actually exploded from pure happiness. Would they have done an immediate rematch? Would they have been like, look, we know
1 trillion
look,
percent.
like we know you won, and so you won, but like we kind of have to do this again.
Oh yeah, that would have been the first main event on Paramount.
That would have been so.
That have been a CBS pay-per-view, not a pay-per-view. It would have been a CBS
so
card.
funny. I'm now I'm left to desperately hope that Khamzat pops or something. He won't because drug testing isn't real anymore. But God, that would also be funny as hell.
Yes, unless you're Alvin Hines. Shout out to Alvin Hines. What a hero.
Hey, but to the credit of Alvin Hines,
I know. Yeah,
he tested positive pre-UFC stuff. Actually, so
yeah, he just like was working at his union job and just.
I loved that presser from the press release where they're like, it's pretty clear he just didn't tell us he did all the steroids because he came in short notice. And so he just like left it out of his thing. But like pretty obviously, like he just was doing a lot of them before he joined up.
Oh man. All right, we're getting out of here. I do want to shout out Alexander Hernandez though.
Big shouts. Dude
probably should have got a bonus tonight. Big upset. He's one of the biggest dogs on the card. He knocks out Chase Hooper in the first round. Jimmy Suss gets the big finish.
I think he was the second biggest dog on the card behind Eric Nolan. I'm trying to.
I know. I'm pretty sure.
No. Joseph Morales. I think.
Oh yeah, that's
Alibi
right.
Idris was pretty big. So also big. Like that was a really big upset.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and Jimmy Suss too.
Hernandez
did the thing. Yep. Mikhail Zajac gets the big finish. All in all, this was. I mean, the Karine Silva-Deanne Barboza fight wasn't like the best fight. Wasn't the worst, but if like there was a downer, it was probably that. Mostly because like there was somehow incredible controversy in that fight. People were literally calling it a robbery, and Daniel Cormier went on a 2-minute tangent about bad judging for that fight when most people scored that fight for Karine Silva. But
people are very upset about a lot of things.
Yeah, it's silly. More content tomorrow. AK and I will be live. On to the next one. I think we're going to go live.
To give an hot note pick right now.
Let's go. Noon Eastern, by the way, for that.
For my wild card pick, it is Dricus du Plessis versus Ryan Ritter. 5 rounds. I don't care where they play.
I mean, that goes to the.
I need that. I need that to happen. Like I need air in my lungs.
I do want Fluffy RDR as well, but seeing what happens tonight, we can certainly go.
It's not. The thing is, it's not going to happen. I honestly, God, believe RDR is going to play Khamzat in Abu Dhabi. That seems like a thing that's happening. And I know the truth. Tonight is the last night I will say that Khamzat will beat him. Because after tonight, we're living in dreamland where I will shout from the rooftops, my big, beautiful idiot boy. He's going to knee him in the belly and Khamzat's going to fold over and die. Or he's going to like armbar him from bottom. I don't know what he's going to do because it's never going to happen, but I'm going to speak into existence, and God, that big dumb idiot will beat the belt holder, and I'll be the happiest person.
Well, we are happy that you were able to join us throughout this night. UFC 319 in the books officially. We will see you tomorrow for on to the next one. Shout out to Casey on the ones.
Road to China.
Good night, everybody.
China. Love y'all.
Shanghai. Let's go.
Shanghai. That's what it's called. Not UFC China. What a dumbass I am.